Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be invited in this gathering to discuss about critical thinking in an online learning, a very important issue, especially these days that everyone is very emotional and that we know that a lot of people, including the students, are involved in the very critical issue that we have these days. So I'm going to discuss about critical thinking in an online learning. Critical thinking skills involve identifying flaws in people's arguments or reasoning by weighing evidences and identifying misuse of information. So these skills enable students to differentiate fake news from real reports, differentiating fact from opinion, and understanding that they cannot take everything they read or hear at face value, which is very important that everything that we see or hear these days are actually true. So we have to read things. Now, what are the elements of critical thinking? Number one is analysis. We really have to analyze. We need to interpret the interpretation. We need to reflect, reflecting on these ideas being presented to us. We need to synthesize the so-called synthesis, and of course, the evaluation. We really need to evaluate things. Fake news. So don't read all about it. Stop. Use reasoning. Okay. So it's very important that we analyze things. We check on the reasons behind fake or real. Okay. So especially if you are young. Okay, so how do you go about finding things? Fake news or facts? The critical thinking process. Okay, so you have to observe, you have to study, you have to synthesize and qualify information by participating. That you can really be involved, draw inferences, identify missing information. What's that information that is missing? Form tentative opinions. Challenge and evaluate assumptions. Develop supporting arguments. So you say something, what are those supporting documents that you can lay down? And then analyze and challenge these arguments. Sample fake news. In the beginning, probably you have encountered this. Elvis is alive and running for president. So funny, no? But there are a lot of fake news. Even those celebrities or high profile people are considered dead already by some news. Okay, with the some news that are proliferating. For example, Mark Zuckerberg, according to dead at 32, which is not true, of course. And there are news here like Pope Francis forbids Catholics from voting for Hillary. In the past, Pope Francis did that. Robert De Niro switches to Trump, which shocks Hollywood. Okay, this one, Oprah, okay, tells fact news host that some white people have to be, to die, okay, and this reasoning is really unbelievable. As we know that Oprah is a good host and she would not do that, okay, but there might be people who might believe that since it's in media. You know how powerful media is, no? So the media organizations are the gatekeepers of information, and a lot of people really are believing them. So fake news and the election campaign in the Philippines. So even before the candidates filed their certificates of candidacy, fake news to cast doubt on their intention to run for office had already been going around social media. So sad, no? But yes, okay, there were a lot of fake news already. After the official filing of COCs, more fake news appeared. Some manipulating images even, no? Others stating information that was not true. More than a week after the filing of the deadline of COCs, videos and articles were also shared by several netizens about Vice President Leonor Leni Robredo's disqualification from the 2022 elections. You may be surprised, no? You might think that it's on BBM, okay, but there's also a fake news on the Vice President. According to a video by Cyber Posting Philippines on Facebook, Robredo had been disqualified after receiving foreign donations for her presidential campaign. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, on the other hand, responded to this via Twitter saying that it's false information. In another report by Manila Bulletin, Robredo tagged as fake news photo showing a large crowd of her supporters circulating on social media pages. The image was that of the Black Nazarene procession at Jones Beach long before the pandemic. It was edited and highlighted with ink representing the vice president's campaign color. So this one. Okay, so instead of the support for the Black Nazarene, it became a support for Lenny Robredo, which is fake news. Images can be edited, distorted. No? Another is a fake news, a recount on the vice presidency. Sa wakas, upo na si Vice President Bongbong Marcos. Panoorin. Okay, and we know very well that it's Lenny Robredo on the vice presidency. Okay, another one because of the big turnout for EVM. Okay, so U.S. President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping congratulated President-elect Ferdinand Marcos Jr., but not the Queen, accordingly. No? Although in social media, probably you have seen this also, that the Queen has congratulated the elected president, okay, with the big quote, no, from the mass. Okay, and according to her, she's wearing red, okay, to congratulate Ferdinand Marcos. And accordingly, it's not true. Okay, so there's no message from the Queen, only from the US and China. Okay, technology is around us. No, we cannot really escape from social media, away from all the things that are going on, because we're always updated with things around us. Okay, when with the advent of the internet, okay, so everything is so easy and fast. Okay, sad to say, a lot of fake news also are proliferating. So critical thinking. Our left brain is responsible for critical thinking by analyzing the problem, evaluating solutions, and choosing the appropriate one, critiquing the solutions, and after that, implementing the solutions. On the other hand, our right brain is responsible for creative thinking. So brainstorming the solutions, innovating the solutions. So what are the new things that are good, okay, for us, and making some improvements. To Watson and Gleiser 2022, critical thinking is a combination of knowledge, attitude, and performance of every individual. Okay, so not only the knowledge, but also the act, the, and of course the attitude. So the attitude, okay, as they say, can make a difference. So they also believe that there are some skills of critical thinking, such as perception, assumption, recognition, deduction, interpretation, and evaluation of logical reasoning. So whenever we check on critical thinking, we always deal with our logical reasoning. Research by Nasrabad in 2012 showed a positive relationship between critical thinking attitudes and students' academic achievement. So, guys, if you have that critical thinking skill, so therefore you should also be excelling in academic achievement. So, if your critical thinking skill is equivalent to student success. so you can graduate even with flying colors. Regardless of degree programs, strong critical thinking predicts college student success, professional licensure, job hire, and government service rank. When thinking skills and mindset are well matched to the demands of the academic program, student retention and graduation rates increase. Achievements continue with students reaching their career and life goals. And according to Insight Assessment, critical thinking is a life skill college students need to succeed in our complex society. So our society is not that simple. We're living with a lot, encountering different kinds of people. So we are always to be guarded, okay, with our thoughts and with this very high emotions that we are experiencing these days. So we are should always be positive. You have to think about your country, okay, first thing, and of course your love for your fellow men and peace, no, peace to yourself with other people, and of course, eventually peace in the whole country. So whenever you think of that, okay, you can remember that success, okay, is not only for one person, but success for everyone. Okay, so with that, I'm ending my talk. And I hope that you exercise your critical thinking ability, your critical thinking skills in all aspects of your life. Okay, so peace to everyone. I'm Dr. Maria Cecilia, CEO. Have a good day.